Well, hi, everyone. It's good to see you again. It's been a few weeks, but we're glad to be back with you here on the AT&T Countdown to Kickoff as we preview Saturday night's Atlanta United match on the road at BMO Field in Toronto, a place where Atlanta United has never won in 3 tries, and a place where they would certainly like to get a result with things really tightening up in the Eastern Conference right now. 6 matches to go for everyone other than New England, who's so far ahead of everyone else. So we're not going to worry about them right now. But this is a real opportunity, Jason. Saturday in Toronto, Atlanta United with 2 weeks to rest, recover, work on some things on the training ground. And hopefully Saturday we're going to see the result of that rest and time to get to work.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see as we get later in this 2021 MLS season how difficult it's been to pick up results on the road across the table. MLS is one of the leagues in the world that has the biggest home field advantage. And you have to win your home games. I think for Atlanta United, for any team who's trying to get into the postseason, you have to win your home games. The teams that can go out on the road and even steal a point from time to time are the teams that are separating themselves from the pack. And Atlanta United, if they want to first get in, second, potentially still get to host a playoff game, they need to pick up some points on the road. When you look at the overall table this season, Toronto is a team that you would think is a game on the road that Atlanta United can go and get a good result in. Well, this is not the Toronto that is playing like the 13th best team in the Eastern Conference. They're unbeaten in their last 4. They've won 3 of those. This is a kind of surging Toronto team as they start to look towards what next season looks like for them. It's not going to be an easy one on the road. And as you mentioned, Mike, it's a place that Atlanta United has not had success in ever.
And look, the top 7 make the playoffs. 8 through 14 do not. This is why this is a big weekend and a really, really critical stretch coming up for Atlanta United after Saturday, their next 3 matches at home. We're going to show you this week's schedule in a little bit. You'll understand why there could be a lot of movement on the Eastern Conference table. Atlanta United, for example, they could find themselves in 4th place at the end of the weekend. A lot of things would have to happen in their favor. Atlanta United could win Saturday and still be 8th. They could even be 9th at the end of this weekend. So a lot can happen. Atlanta United can help themselves a great deal. They probably aren't going to hurt themselves a whole lot because, as Jason said, this is a road match. Next 3 at home. You take care of your home matches. We think Atlanta United is going to be in good shape. But you've got to be in a win-now mentality right now because there are points on the table, and some of the teams above Atlanta United on the table are assured of dropping points this weekend because they're going to play each other. Gonzalo Pineda talked a lot this week about getting his team in the right mindset for Saturday's match against Toronto.
When you were at Seattle, y'all had a history of closing seasons pretty strongly. Have you applied any of what y'all learned in that to the guys talking to them here about these next 6 games and securing a playoff berth?
Well, there are things that obviously you can apply. I think I have to coach what I see, and in certain ways the players are different. Seattle has a long history of making playoffs, and kind of the culture is right there. I think the culture of this club is the same, is trying to make playoffs every time. I think pretty much they accomplish that almost every year except for one. So I think the culture is here, is just trying to manage the momentum, 3 weeks, 6 games, and try to make them understand the importance of these 3 weeks and why we need to fight, why we need to compete, why we need to fight for each other. And it's just setting that mindset so we're successful, but nothing really special, to be honest. It's just trying to managing mentally the group, and that's it.
You know, we've really watched a lot about ourselves, which I think is very important, you know, this late in the season, and what we've been doing well, that we need to continue doing well, especially on the road, because you know our results the last 2 times on the road haven't been good enough. So we got three home, 3 away, and those 3 away we really need to pick up points and do everything we can to climb up the table.
I think you got a sense from Brooks Lennon's comment there about focusing on those 3 games away that Atlanta United's not just looking at getting to the dance. So they're trying to get into a position where they can make a run. They're looking at hosting playoff games at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The road games become critical, and looking back, I thought the other element that I took a lot out of from those comments this week were looking at the positives. And different managers have different mentalities here. And I think we're getting to know Gonzalo Pineda really well now. Some managers will look at, these are the mistakes we're making, this is what we have to correct. I think Gonzalo Pineda is somebody who looks at a team and says, I want them to feel good going into a game. I don't want them to have fear. I want them to feel positive and strong. Let's focus on what this team has done well on the road, what they've done well this season. Let's build from there. I'm sure they talk about eliminating mistakes. I'm sure that that is part of the conversation. But to focus on what has gone well, especially in these road games, is a very important element of being in the right mindset to go to Toronto. And you saw the table earlier, two of the bottom teams, the two bottom teams in the Eastern Conference, are two of the road games. Those are games that Atlanta United will be expected to go and get results in. And it's games that I think Atlanta United can go and get results in, maybe 3 points in one or both. And that's the mentality that you have to have, is not go into those games with fear, with worry. Go into those games with confidence that you're a team that can go and get this win, get this result, and play to the capability that we haven't seen in the last couple of road matches.
They should be confident, too, because those 3 road matches are against Toronto, who you've beaten already this year, Cincinnati, who you blew out a couple weeks ago in Atlanta, and Red Bulls, who honestly I think you played pretty well against at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, maybe a little bit hard done that you did not get a win in that match, but 3 teams that Atlanta United has matched up well against this year. I think one of the big keys, though, Jason, for Saturday's match is going to be Ezequiel Barco for Atlanta United. Not only on set pieces, not only on the finishing end, but in transition, creating opportunity and creating space for Atlanta United to attack.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to jump into with Barco and this match, especially against Cincinnati, because I think defensively there are similarities between Cincinnati and Toronto. But look at some of these sequences with Barco where he picks up the ball, no one's able to defend him straight away. Look at how everybody runs away from him. It's all about exploiting the space. For Barco on the dribble, what does he do to exploit the space? But what movement does he get from the players around him? They become critical in those moments. Barco can score, put it off the post right there, nearly puts that in the back of the net from distance. He can create those goals for himself from time to time. No question about that. But the movement off the ball becomes critical. Look at Joseph Martinez in this one. He gets into the pocket of space between 2 defenders. Barco's able to find him, get him the ball. He puts it in the back of the net. We know the set pieces. Barco is a problem on the direct free kicks going to goal. We've seen that plenty of times here lately. The combination play, very strong. But it's when he can get out on the run and exploit the space that I think the respect that teams give him. When he can exploit it and when his teammates can exploit it, another good run off the ball from Joseph Martinez as players dropped off of Barco on the run. It's going to be down to whether it's Joseph Martinez, whether it's Kubo Torres, whether it's Jackson Conway, but also Marcelino Moreno, George Bello overlapping, also Luis Araujo, finding the space that is created from Barco and what he can do on the ball. And I think also, as we saw on that last sequence right there, Barco can get in behind as well. It's going to be critical for Atlanta this weekend.
Well, Atlanta United, too, facing a critical weekend as well, because suddenly now they are back in the playoff mix in the USL Championship due to very bizarre circumstances.
Yeah, it's been a wild last couple of days for Atlanta United, too. Let's go to the match in question in Sporting Kansas City 2 against the twos from Sporting, from SKC. Really tough game. Vicente Reyes got the start in goal, one of the up-and-coming young players from the Atlanta United Academy. I thought Vicente Reyes played very well here. There's so many good goalkeepers in this club right now, and it's been Lundgaard getting games with the twos, or Alec Can getting games with the twos. Rocco Rios Novo has been the primary. Vicente Reyes gets forgotten about at times. He's a Chilean youth international. I think he has a very promising future. Made a good account of himself in this match, as did Atlanta United too. Abdoulaye Diop nearly finding Mackie Diop for an opportunity. Very even game in this one. A lot of shots. Both teams combined for 35 shots in this match. Nice save from Reyes at the near post. It was Sporting Kansas City, too, who did find the eventual breakthrough. Ozzy Cisneros is the one who got it here with that goal. Nothing Reyes can do. That's a great goal from Cisneros, back across the body to the far side netting. Bradley Camden-Feo nearly got one, but a great save kept it out. Atlanta United 2 could not find the rebound. Look at the separation on the wall on that shot. Big save. Darwin Mateus, Philip Goodrum, both crashing in, trying to find it. The fight has been there consistently from Atlanta United 2. They didn't have the quality to get the win in this one. They lose 1-0. But, Sporting Kansas City 2 played a player who was supposed to be suspended due to yellow card accumulation. I don't know how that email was forgotten, but it was. And he played, and therefore they played an ineligible player. So it is a forfeit, and it is a forfeit win for Atlanta United 2. It's a 3-0 win in the books. And the playoff hopes, while slim, are still alive for the Twos. Crazy week.
Well, I'm sure Jack Collison and the guys will take it any way they can get it.
You take it.
It's very bizarre. It's very unusual. The 3-0, adding 3 to your goal difference, by the way, may not be insignificant when it's all said and done. I just kind of feel like the soccer karma deserves to be on Atlanta United 2's side a little bit. This has been a very, very intense season for them with a lot of travel. The geographical division that they were placed in caused them to have to travel a lot. So maybe they're owed 1 or 2 and they got one back with that forfeit on Thursday.
The academy, I think, impact on Atlanta United 2 this season has been huge. I mentioned Reyes in this one, getting the start. Noah Cobb got the start on the back line, 16 years old. Caleb Wiley at 16 years old played a little bit higher up the field in this match. Then off the bench, more academy players. Daniel Sabatu, who's made his USL Championship debut this season. David Mejia, a player who has consistently brought energy and brought impact when he's come off the bench. He had a good second 45 minutes. Johnny Fortune, who played his way from an academy contract early to a professional deal with Atlanta United 2 by the end of the season. The academy has been such a huge factor. And one other element to the proving ground this week is the Atlanta United U19s are playing tonight. They're playing a local rival in the UPSL Georgia division, Limeño out of Gainesville. Should be a really fun match to watch. You can watch it on 11 Sports. If you go there and you look up Atlanta United 2, if you go to the UPSL websites as well, you will find it there. An opportunity to see potentially some players that you've seen with Atlanta United 2, but also some academy players who are pushing to get those opportunities. I've had a chance to call a couple of their matches this season, and I've been really impressed with, one, just the understanding of the concepts and the way that they play. It looks like Atlanta United. It looks like Atlanta United 2. To credit to Jose Silva, the manager, and all the coaches with the academy, but also the level of talent. There are players that you have not seen for Atlanta United 2 yet who are going to be pushing for professional contracts. This academy continues to get deeper and deeper with the level of talent it's producing. And this is a great opportunity to see some players that maybe you haven't had a chance to see just yet. Tonight, the UPSL game of the week is the Atlanta United U19s.
All right, well, the international break is over in Major League Soccer. Most teams did not play during the international break. So for most of the league, these were their last results. This is 2 weekends ago now. That's why you see Montreal and Atlanta in there. Now, since these matches were played, there were a very small handful of matches last weekend in MLS. And unfortunately, the results in other matches did not necessarily go Atlanta United's way, because you had Red Bulls and Philadelphia both playing essentially games in hand, and they both won. So now Philadelphia jumps 6 points clear of Atlanta United to third, and Red Bulls now are only 2 points behind Atlanta United, ninth on the table, which we showed you earlier here on the AT&T Countdown to Kickoff. That's a little bit unfortunate. You would have liked to have seen maybe, and certainly in the Columbus match, maybe a draw because they were playing Miami, Philadelphia. Looks like they've now pulled away a little bit. So it feels like maybe the ceiling for Atlanta United has changed a little bit. But like we said, this weekend could be absolutely wild in the Eastern Conference. There is a scenario where you could have 5 clubs on 40 points in the Eastern Conference, depending on how the matches go this weekend. And 2 of those teams would be below the playoff line. In fact, it's really not inconceivable. It would require Montreal to lose that match in Philadelphia. DC would have to lose, or that's at home for Montreal, but lose to Philadelphia. DC would have to lose to Nashville. Red Bulls would have to beat New York City, their home. Atlanta United would have to get a draw against Toronto. And all of a sudden now you've got 5 teams on 40 points in the East. It could happen.
It could. It could. This is a pretty wild set of games. I think we're going to be saying that a lot every match, not even week, because it's going to be 6 games in 3 weeks for most teams. A couple teams have a little bit less. It's going to be a challenge. And out of really 7 playable windows here with the midweek and the weekends, Atlanta United's playing in 6 of them. Most teams are. And we're going to see big matchups. Without the cross-conference play, only a couple of games for every team this year, and without really many of those games left on the schedule, teams are going to be playing teams they have to beat to get into the postseason. You're going to have a lot of those 6-point kind of matches. And we have a couple this week. Columbus and Miami towards the bottom. It feels like an elimination game on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Because if neither one, whoever doesn't come out with 3 points in that one, I think their season is done, especially if it's Miami. Columbus maybe hangs around if everybody only gets to 40. They're only 6 points back if they don't get a win. But if Columbus gets a win, then they're right there on the edge of being in this conversation. Orlando's got to go on the road to Cincinnati and show that they can do something on the road. They've been very poor for the last few months on the road. Can they get that? DC Nashville, huge game in the East. Red Bulls and NYC for what feels like the 10th time in the last 3 weeks. Huge game. The Red Bulls got hot against NYC. Can they continue that? Because NYC hasn't won in their last 4, and they're one of the teams that has slid the most from where they were a few, maybe months ago when we started this conversation to where they are now, trying to hold on to a playoff spot. They might be one of the teams that falls out with the little bit of a resurgence from Orlando that we're seeing, the little bit of a bounce back from DC after they got really wobbly. It's New York City that's the team that has slid the furthest right now, and they've got a rivalry match this weekend.
And then they come to Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Wednesday. Might be good timing for Atlanta United. And again, Atlanta United can be anywhere from 4th to 9th in the East after this weekend, depending on how all the matches go. For them to be 4th, they would need a lot of help. For example, Cincinnati would have to beat Orlando. But more than anything else, Atlanta United would need to get a win in Toronto on Saturday. They've never won at BMO Field before. They've played 3 matches there, 2 losses and a draw, which happened back in 2017. But Toronto, as Jason mentioned, winners of 3 of their last 4, and they're unbeaten in that 4-match span. Jefferson Sotildo has had an eventful week, but he's back with TFC now, and I think this is the player that Atlanta United really needs to be concerned with on Saturday.
Yeah, he's been the key for this Toronto team in their good run of form. He's such a crafty player. We know what he can do in the 1v1 situations. But for me, it's about how he reads the game. Incredibly talented, but I think the way he finds space gets underrated. That little movement right there, just off the back shoulder of the defender, he finds these pockets of space to operate in. Not a big guy, not the fastest guy either. Incredibly technical, but he finds the space that he needs to operate in. And I think you've started to see some of his teammates figure out how to play off of him and how to be patient, and he'll find you. When he's 5'2", getting on the back post for headers, that's a little bit more of the defending in that situation. But anyway, we'll come back to that. Soteldo is coming in off of kind of a weird week. He was sent home early from the Venezuelan national team. Not really sure what happened there. Inactive in discipline is all we've heard. That helps Toronto, honestly, because he comes back. He didn't play in the match on Thursday night. He comes back early and should be available for Toronto in this one. And with Alejandro Pozuelo not at 100% right now, Jefferson Soteldo becomes critical, and he's really put this team on his back. I think what they've done so far in this run where they've been so strong is getting back to basics in a large degree. They've played a midfield trio of 3 guys that we've seen play together for 4 or 5 years now, in Michael Bradley and Jonathan Osorio and Marky Delgado. They know each other inside and out. That gives you a base to build around. They have 2 veterans at center back, and Omar Gonzalez and Chris Mavinga. Again, that core, that 5, has played together for a long time. They know each other really, really well. You can get a little creative. You can give young guys opportunities out wide if you have a core like that. You can kind of mix and match up top. We've seen Soteldo play as a number 9 at times, and he's going to play it like a false 9 because he's going to drop and find that space. Pozuelo can play that role as well. We've seen that firsthand against Atlanta United before. It's interesting that Toronto's, I think, good run here has been really getting back to who they were in a lot of ways, missing a few pieces. They don't have Josie Altidore. They don't have Ayo Akinola. They don't really have that number 9 right now. But getting back to the spine of what made them so successful. Now, that's an older group, though. And can they hold on to continue this run right now, especially where they don't have a lot to play for? I mean, I think mathematically they are still alive. Cincinnati was officially eliminated with their loss last weekend. But Toronto's out of the playoff race. They are thinking about what's next, who the manager will be next season, how many guys are out of contract. There's rumors about Lorenzo Insigne from Napoli and the Italian national team. There's rumors about the return of Sebastian Giovinco to Toronto. There's going to be some looking ahead for this group. Does that start now coming off of a break where maybe that momentum has washed away a little bit? I don't know what we're going to see from Toronto. And that's a little bit of a tricky situation to walk into if you're Atlanta United, because they have not looked like the Toronto we've seen all season in their last 4 games. But I don't know if that's sustainable truly because of the age, because of what they have to work with. So I don't really know what we're going to see out of the Reds on Saturday night.
Along those lines of not really knowing what we're going to see, let's go to predictions.
We're pretty good at that part.
Because, quite honestly, I could see this being a very high-scoring game. I could see this being a very low-scoring, tactical game.
Yep.
I could see it being somewhere in the middle. It's going to rain all day Friday and Saturday in Toronto. It should be out of there in time for the match. How's the pitch going to play? Is it going to be waterlogged? Is it going to be too wet? Is it going to be slick? Is it going to be hard to string stuff together? I don't know. This is a really tough one to predict. So when I get into these jams where I don't really know what to predict, I go to maybe the cheapest idea possible. Jason, what kits are Atlanta United going to be wearing on Saturday?
Well, the Unity kit, of course.
Exactly. Who has shown a scoring proficiency when wearing the Unity kit this year? Had a goal in Nashville, had a home goal wearing the Unity kit as well. Mr. Anton Walks.
Yeah.
I am going to predict that Anton Walks is going to factor into a goal Saturday night, either with a goal or assist.
Okay.
So that's about as well as I can do in a match where I really have no idea what's going to happen. I'm going to go to, they're wearing the Unity kits, so Anton Walks is going to have a good night.
I'm going to go to a player we haven't mentioned. He wasn't part of the group in Montreal, Marcelino Moreno. I think his absence was felt in that match, and he will become very important here. Ezequiel Barco is going to draw a lot of attention, and I think he will create opportunities for others because of that attention that he'll draw. I think Marcelino Moreno could be one of the guys who gets that. I'm going to go with Marcelino Moreno winning at least seven duels in the match. Moreno's been one of the best in MLS this season at winning duels. I think more often than not when we see Atlanta United, not just, lead in the duels category, but really control it. They're winning matches. They're getting results. I think that's key, especially if we're dealing with a wet pitch. a lot of unknowns coming into it. It is going to be about that intensity and that fight, and it's something Gonzalo Pineda has talked about consistently since arriving. Marcelino Moreno is one of those guys who leads by example in that realm. So I think it's Marcelino Moreno with at least 7 duels won in the match. And if that happens, I think Atlanta United gets the result they're looking for.
I like it. Atlanta United almost got a result in Montreal 2 weeks ago with Joseph only playing 45 minutes, Araujo playing only 45 minutes, Moreno not playing at all. So I feel good about Atlanta United going into a road match. They have struggled to win on the road this year, but maybe this will be the one where they finally get Toronto up at BMO Field, because they've been really close.
Yeah, they have.
They've been really, really close. In 2 of those 3 matches, really well played draw in 2017, and a lot of controversy at the end of 2019, which we won't rehash because we're out of time here on the AT&T Countdown to Kickoff. Jason and I will be on the road Saturday on the radio, 7 o'clock on 92.9 The Game and the Atlanta United app. 7:30 will be the kickoff. And when we speak to you next week here on the AT&T Countdown to Kickoff, not only will we recap the Toronto match, but also that very big match Wednesday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium against New York City as Atlanta United goes into a big 3-match homestand. I want to thank you for joining us today on the AT&T Countdown to Kickoff.